What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Wildcat Cave. Today we are breaking down the SEC Championship game this week that features two SEC juggernauts in the Crimson Tide of Alabama and the Bulldogs from Athens. Once again, Georgia and Alabama meet in the SEC Championship, but what can Georgia do different this time to finally get a win in this game? Today we will answer that question for you, as well as the same for the Tide. But before we do that, make sure you stop now and comment your final score prediction and the winner down below. Whoever is closest will get a shout out in my next video. I'm really interested to see who you all pick. I expect to see a very mixed variety of answers on this one. Also, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button for me. I can promise you, you will not regret it. We break down games here, cover the SEC, cover Kentucky, have game day vlogs, and most importantly, we talk trash to Tennessee. So make sure you're subscribed and you like this video. Starting off first with number 3, Alabama. The first thing they need to do, and it's easier said than done, and that is to find the mismatch in Georgia's defense. If you're Alabama, you have two elite receivers in Williams and Mechie. You're going to have to find a way for them to impact this game, whether that's finding a way to force Georgia into a man coverage and let those guys beat their defenders one-on-one, or scheme and get those guys the ball in space. Alabama is going to need to find a way that works and then continue to exploit that. Next for Alabama is to just find offense in general. It's no secret how good this Georgia defense has been this season. As of right now, Georgia is only giving up 7 points per game and holding opposing offenses to about 220 yards per game. All week, I've heard Bama fans complain about their offensive coordinator, Bill O'Brien, and I'm here to tell you, Bama fans, you better hope he is not as bad as you all believe, or it's going to make for a long, depressing day against this Georgia defense. Alabama's had an explosive offense this year, but this is a defense unlike any they've seen, and it should make for a fun matchup. Third for Alabama is to hold Georgia's offense to under 30 points. This is something that almost no team has done this year. Georgia's offense averages about 40 points per game, and Alabama cannot afford to let Stetson Bennett and company put up that many points because I don't believe Alabama's offense will be able to do the same thing against this Dogs defense. When I was looking at stats for Georgia, I was really surprised to find, well, nothing really. No one's stats jumped off the page to me. Don't get me wrong, everyone's numbers were fine and good, but there wasn't one guy that had groundbreaking statistics. And I still haven't really figured out how Georgia's offense is so productive with numbers like those. But nevertheless, they are, and Alabama is going to need to put a stop to that. Fourth for Alabama is put some pressure on Stetson Bennett. And while yes, I do mean through a pass rush, because Bennett has struggled to be consistent and accurate under pressure, this could also apply to disguising coverages. Of course, getting in the backfield and causing sacks or making him move out of the pocket is ideal, but Bennett has only been sacked 6 times so far this season, so the Tide is going to have to do some other things to make him feel the pressure. Bennett does not have a ton of starts, especially in big games, so this may be a game where Saban tries to put the pressure on him between the ears more than on the field. And finally for Alabama is you have to have one game-changing play. If you remember, I made this point multiple times in other breakdowns, but in a game where you're outmatched, or at least it's close, you need a little luck and need a big play to decide the outcome. Again, that can be blocked or missed kicks, a long touchdown, a pick six, or something that puts or takes points off the board in your favor in a close game, and that could decide the winner. Now moving on to the Bulldogs. First things first is they have to get pressure on Bryce Young. Again, whether that be physical or mental pressure, you cannot let him be comfortable. Bryce Young has 40 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions on the season and is completing 68% of his throws. Where the good news is Bryce Young is a sophomore who was a first-year starter and has been sacked 33 times this year. Alabama's offensive line is not as good as it's been in the past, and this is one of the best Georgia defenses that they've ever had. I expect Kirby to bring the pressure early and make Bryce force throws that he normally wouldn't have to. Second for Georgia is being able to contain Jamison Williams and John Mechie. These guys combined for 151 receptions, 2,300 yards of offense, and 20 touchdowns. If Georgia's corners and safeties don't come ready to play, these guys will eat them alive. Mechie is going to be the number one receiver for this team, while Williams is the deep threat playmaker. Mechie does have 30 more receptions on the year, which tells me that he is Bryce Young's favorite target. But even with 30 less catches, Williams has 200 more receiving yards and 6 more touchdowns than Mechie does. Both of these guys are dangerous, and Georgia will have to find a way to contain them. Third for the Bulldogs is to make Brock Bowers a priority in this offense. If y'all have not seen this guy, the tight end for Georgia, he's amazing. He has really gotten better as the seasons went on. The dude's 6'4", 230 pounds, and he's a freshman, and he leads the team with 37 receptions and 10 touchdowns. That means he scores almost 1 out of every 3 or 4 catches that he has. Fourth for Georgia is Zamir White will need to have a solid game. Right now he's only averaging about 58 yards per game. I know he splits carries with James Cook, but he is the primary running back. Both teams only give up about 80 yards rushing per game. So to me, the team that is able to take advantage the most on the ground will be the team that wins the game. And finally for Georgia, don't choke. Alabama has won the last 6 meetings between these two dating back to 2008. In 3 of the 6 meetings, Georgia was ranked higher, and in 2 of the meetings, they were number 2 and 3 in the polls. But it seems like no matter how good Georgia is or how much better it seems they are than Alabama, the Bulldogs always find a way to blow this game. Now, I have to tell you, in my opinion, if Kirby Smart cannot beat Nick Saban with this year's team, he just never will. This is Georgia's year to win it all, and while losing this game doesn't mean you won't win the national championship, it would, I think, put a black eye on Kirby's resume. Nothing less than an SEC and national championship for this team will suffice, and if Kirby underachieves again, I think there may be some rumblings and his seat may start to get a little warm. Now moving on to some betting, the spread right now sits at Georgia minus 6.5. Basically, Vegas thinks that this is a touchdown difference game, and I think that is a lot in a game like this. If you're going to tell me that I can get an Alabama win or up to a 6-point loss, I will always bet on Alabama. I think this is more of like a 3 or 4 point game, so I will take Alabama to cover the spread. Next, there is a chance to make a little money here on the money line if you're confident in Nick Saban's squad. Basically, if you bet on Alabama and they can pull it off, you will double your bet on this one. So if you have the money and you're confident in the Tide to win here, bet this line. And this is a line where the average person has a chance to make money without having to bet $1,000. And finally, the over-under is set at 49.5. I think that's just a hair low. I understand Vegas is thinking here that both teams have great defenses and should struggle to score on each other. However, I think both teams score in the 20s at least, and because of that, I will take the over. Now finally here for my prediction, I've kind of went back and forth in my head, but at the end of the day, I just think it's Georgia's time to finally get over the hump and win a close game. So I will take the Bulldogs 28-24 to take home the SEC championship. That is going to do it for this one, guys. I appreciate you all watching. Make sure you leave your prediction for the SEC championship game down in the comments below with the correct winner for a chance at a shout out. And really be sure to subscribe and have hit the notification bell. I have 2 tickets for the next UK basketball game at Rupp, and I will be doing a vlog for that game as well. So be sure to be subscribed so you're not going to miss any of the fun from Rupp. And I will see you guys in the next video. Go Cats!